Hello everybody to another review. This time I am reviewing the Art and Fly brush markers. And I've never used such markers before, but I always wanted to try them. So Art and Fly were so kind and sent me these 24 brush markers and also a 6 marker set with 6 skin tones for brighter skin colors. And yeah, you can see that these are the markers with brush side. They also have one with a bullet side. So one side is always a chisel and the other side is either brush or a bullet. But I wanted to have a brush side. I don't know, I thought if that sounded more comfortable in my case because I'm used to brushes, so I wanted to have that side. And you can see the brush side also has this kind of ring, I would say. I don't know how to call that. So you can feel when you're holding like the brush in your hands, you can feel which side is the brush, so you can find it faster, I guess. So when it comes to paper, what kind of paper, I thought that these Winsor Newton Pigment marker paper would be perfect for these kind because they are both markers, even though they work totally different. But I also tried these markers on different kind of paper, which I will show you in the video. But I used this one to show you all the colors and all the names, and you will see them now. So first I'm showing you how the skin tone set looks like, how the colors look. And the markers always have like a number on them and also letters, and these letters stand for the colors that are very prominent in them, I guess. So this one had a Y and an R, so I guess it means yellow red. I hope that's correct, but I think I saw that on other markers as well when I was watching some reviews, and they also had that same system on them. And making a color chart like this is always a good thing to do because, especially with these markers, I figured that the cap color, so the color on the caps, is not really the color that is in the markers. Well, for the skin tones, it almost is, but for the other colors, there are so many colors that look so different from the caps and what's in them, so it's always good to have like a color chart where you actually have a name of a color and how they actually look like. So here you can see how the letters stand for the colors. So for example, the yellow, just the Y is yellow, the BR. I'm not sure if the B stands for blue or for brown. It could be brown, I guess. For the skin tones, it could be brown. So the 24 color set, I made all of them into groups of 3. I don't know why, it just made sense to me. And the 0 marker is the blender brush. I haven't really figured out how to use it correctly. I have a way I use it on this paper, which is to me is really cool. I will show you that in the video later on. But here are the colors, and the first one is a warm gray. So when it comes to the gray tones, you all either have like a WG or a CG, and the WG means warm gray and the CG is the cold gray. So now you can actually see that the brown tones and the blue tones have the B on the markers. So that's why I guess for the brown tones it means brown, and for the blue tones the B means blue. So these are all the colors that I got, and this is the blender brush. It's a bit dirty because I used it for a few of my drawings that I did before that review. So it already is a bit gray because I used all the gray tones. But I just wanted to show you how what kind of effect it does when you brush it through the color, and it kind of takes the color off, so the color itself becomes a bit brighter. The bright colors almost also like fade away because of that. It's almost like when you have watercolor and you use salt or water drops on the color, so it kind of makes the color fade away. And I told you before that I wanted to use the markers on different papers. So I have this sketchbook which has like very smooth paper, and I thought that it would be perfect for markers. And you can see that the colors look a lot different on that paper. They are a lot brighter and kind of smoother, so it has a very different effect. So the paper on the marker paper looks more like watercolor, and in the sketchbook it looks more, I don't know how to call that. It looks just different. It's very vibrant. It's a very different effect. But the thing with the sketchbook is that the paper might be too thin, or it's just not paper for markers, because on the other side, when I used this on the sketchbook paper, it came through the paper, so it kind of destroyed not just one side, so you can see it came through, but also the other side, and some of the colors even go through a third side, which was, especially when you use the blender brush, I think it's because of the alcohol in it. The sheet of paper that I'm having here is the same from the Winsor Newton marker set. I have a pad that is a bit bigger, so I thought of using it in between for the sketchbook. And these are the drawings that I did with the gray tones, which are probably my favorite thing to do right now. Yeah. Okay, so this is sketchbook paper, the normal thicker sketchbook paper that doesn't have a smooth surface. It's just the normal kind of sketchbook paper that you would use for drawing. But I just wanted to show you how the effect is on that paper when you use the marker, and it's also like very vibrant. But I had the feeling that if you use the marker on that kind of paper, they will get empty very, very quick, because I had the feeling they kind of suck in all the pigments and all the colors, so I don't recommend to use that on this kind of paper. So this is the marker paper again. Well, I showed you the different colors, and I wanted to show you with this how the blender brush works, or how the blender brush looks, and how you can not just blend but also like mix colors, because it kind of picks it up and it makes mostly very pastel colors. As you can see, it has a really nice effect, I think. So it always reminded me a bit of watercolors, which I kind of liked. I'm not really sure if it's just because I'm doing them accidentally like that and it makes this effect, but yeah, I just wanted to show you what you can also do with a blender brush like that. For this review, I also created two different kind of phases with the skin tone set, and one with like with all the gray colors that I had. And about the skin tone set, I really like it. Actually, the bright, like almost rose colors and the a little bit of yellow colors, they work very well together, so you can make two different sets, for one with a warmer skin tone and one with a colder skin tone, kind of. But what I'm missing in the skin tone set is a color that is more rose colored for the darker parts. You have this kind of bronze or orange color for the dark parts, kind of, but I think it would be really nice to have some for the more like warm colored flesh tones. Like you have a very rose colored skin tone in there, and I think a more like warmer color would fit into the mix as well. But all in all, I really like these markers. So at the moment I'm kind of obsessed with the gray tones. I really love to draw with them, and it's very easy to use when you have something in your head and you just start with the brightest color to make the forms, and then you go a bit darker and define the face more. You can change the form with itself with just one color. It's really, really cool, and the colors are very bright. They're very nice pigmented. And this review was from kind of a beginner's point of view, so I have never worked with these kind of markers before. It's really nice. I will use them definitely a lot more, also in combination with the other soft brush markers that I got from Art and Fly. I also made a review. I will link them in the description box if you want to see them, but I really like them, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye!